I bet she literally wrote what she was saying, like verbally.
久々の手紙ですが、伝達
What?
以前からの件、感謝を伝えていないことを懸念しております。
Spencer, the brother, probably feels inadequate as not only as a son, but also as a brother. It's heartbreaking. No one wants to become an addict. It's a coping mechanism that has gone awry. Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated psychotherapist, and I will be decoding the human condition and relevant psychological concepts from each video that I watch. What does Violet Evergarden's episode 3 reveal about emotional development and social learning, mirror neuron theory, that's an exciting one, why emotions are often misinterpreted, and much, much more. I am glad that I'm not crying in every episode so far, like I did in episode 1.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
But let's see what episode 3 has in store for all of us. Let's tune in. That's a massive church bell. I could tell something dark's gonna happen just for how peaceful and amazing the beginning is. I know something heavy's coming. I'm learning the setup and the roller coaster of this show already 3 episodes in. Layden.
ブローチ欲しいだけなんじゃないの？やだ。
This must be the training center where Violet is training. Oh, very strict, like they said. Like Eric and Iris said, very strict. She's like older Violet.
自動式人形育成学校へようこそ。
すみません。
遅刻は2度で欠席扱いですよ。
Dang. Yo. Strict
道路への
teachers?
需要は高まる一方です。我々の目的はただのドールではなく、良きドールを育成することです。
Alright, great expectation.
証は一流の証明。しかし、私が良きドールと認めない限り、この証は決して与えられません。
That looks like the Hunger Games
覚悟
symbol.
はいいですか？
了解しました。
Affirmative. Violet is still struggling with the adjustment as a soldier to civilian, as we can tell.
とはかけ離れた。まるで軍人さんのようでした。
Spot on. Can you imagine as classmates how you feel? You see your classmate literally just stand up to saluting. Affirmative. I'm sure that was quite off-putting for everyone else. But imagine the loneliness and the struggle of Violet. Alright, let's see the introduction. She's in this world of greenery. Oh, this is a new introduction. They didn't have this in the last 2 episodes. I see some color contrast. Probably the contrast between her colorless world and the colorful world of real life off the battlefield. Typewriter, the bridge, right? Her pain, her loneliness, loss of purpose, transitory objects, last connection between herself and Major Gilbert. Sorry for beeping out the music for copyright purposes, but great music. Mechanical arm, symbolism of functional but disconnected, just like her emotional journey. Beautiful sunset. Our golden hour. Letter. Her journaling, emotional processing, and her longing and ambiguous emotional loss with Gilbert. But she still doesn't know if Gilbert's alive or missing or ignoring her.
話す言葉を書き写せるだけのタイプ速度が
Oh, Violet's gonna knock this out of the park.
ください。
Remember, she's ChatGPT before ChatGPT.
エヴァーガーデンさん、どうしました？
速度の指定がありません。
指定されれば撃てると？
So that seems like an innocent comment. What's wrong, Miss Violet? She's like, you didn't specify speed. That's another symptom of her PTSD and struggle with post-war adjustments, a theme continuing from episode 2. She doesn't know what to do in her life. She has no purpose and direction without instructions. She has no personal direction without directions from her above-ranking officer, in this case, her teacher. She literally will not do anything because she's learned to be optimal by being on standby, waiting for the commands, instructions. Go kill that enemy. Do this strategy. Try this thing out. And she's like, yes, ma'am. And she will execute her commands and her instructions. So even in this innocent quick glimpse, like immediately in the beginning of the episode, it's telling us her ongoing struggle and adjustments, that she literally needs to wait for the instructions from her above ranking officer, air quote, since this is a civilian world, and then she'll be able to execute and do what she's told. She's the best at executing commands, but she doesn't have her own personal autonomy. Why? Because she was raised as Gilbert's dog, a tool, a killing machine. She doesn't know what to do and what does even personal autonomy means. Personal autonomy means our agency or free will. She seemingly has no free will because her willpower and her power of will is dictated by the commands of other people.
なら1分200文字で
了解しました。
Affirmative. Oh, she's about to kill this, yo.
撃ちます。
どうぞ。
The teacher appreciates that though. Oh, I love that. Looks like a banh mi sandwich.
何も食べないの？任務中の食事は最小限にするよう訓練されております。
I knew it gets sad immediately. Oh, it's heartbreaking.
私の食べる？
Oh,
結構で
sharing.
す。ライデン出身のルクリアさん。私の自己紹介覚えてたの？全員分覚えています。
Wow, she's so attentive. She'll be an amazing memory though. She needs to get over the emotional hump.
多種多様な手紙の形式も含まれるのです。
She going to be a model student here? Because you don't learn the emotions yet?
発表します。文法の成績満点、バイオレット
Of course. She's ChatGPT, yo.
語彙の成績満点、バイオレット・エヴァーガーデン
No expressions.
ただいま任務より帰還しました。
I've returned from my mission. You see that? Her ongoing struggle, even with verbiage and vocabulary of civilian worlds from the soldier worlds. And again, based on how this show goes, I think this is a setup for Violet's astronomical failures that's to come. She's perfected the mission of verbal communication. Remember I said in episode 2 that according to the latest social linguistic studies and language studies, 70% of our communication between humans, since humans are social, emotional animals, is nonverbal, body language, the things that are outside of the tangible words. As we know, Violet killed it. As we've expected, of course she's gonna kill it. Not literally, but right, pun intended. She can optimally execute every missions and directions coming her way. That's a 30% verbal communication. So I think yes, she's killed it. She was looked upon as a model student by all the other peers that were in this training school. But in that training school, they didn't teach you about the subtext, the hidden intention, the human emotionality that Violet's going to be struggling with. So I think it's going to be a setup for her massive failure that's to come in this episode. Comment your thoughts below. What do you think about that?
学校どうだった？
怒られたでしょ。
いえ、怒られてはい
She
ます。
killed it.
おかえり。
Oh, so warming.
ローダン
Perfect
席の会
score.
に預かっております。
どれどれ？
お、初日の評価は優秀だね。
Oh, they're all smiling.
何よ、男のくせにいつまでも。
What happens?
何をしているのでしょう。
Oh, is this lovers quarrel? Oh, they like each other. I'm not a betting man, but I bet there is romantic interest between those two.
実際に手紙を代筆する訓練を行います。
よろしくね。
See, she's gonna struggle soon.
誰宛ての手紙にする？
Major Gilbert?
私が手紙を書きたい相手。
あなたが気持ちを伝えたい身近な人にすればよいのです。
She's like, what are feelings? What's someone close?
宛先はクラウディア・ホッチンズ様。
Oh, someone besides Major Gilbert.
社長です。
That's amazing.
以上、報告終了します。
Or do you think she literally interpreted that as someone close, like physically proximity close, like someone who's literally working next to? Do you think that's how she interpreted it as, oh, someone close? Yeah, I work with my boss. Hudgens, he brought me into this company as an auto memory doll. He sent me here. Yeah, someone close. That's Hudgens. Do you think that was her robotic calculation? Or she's actually learning to emotionally, a little bit by little bit, viewing him as someone that's close, like a loved one's. What are your thoughts below? Comments. Do you think it's physical proximity or emotional proximity? And even here, she's like, that concludes the end of my report. And her classmate's like, what?
バイオレット・エヴァーガーデンこれで終わり
She's so formal.
では少佐よりの新たな命令はまだ届きませんでしょうか
Oh, it's always about Major Gilbert.
手紙っていうより報告書みたい
Right.
今度はルクリアさんの手紙をどうぞ
Luculia.
両親宛てにするわ了解しましたお父さんお母さんに今までのことのお礼をちゃんと言えてなくて
Shout out to my parents. Is she literally just writing what she's saying?
入りすぎて伝えきれないねそれじゃあまた心配しないでねルクリアより
Oh no. It's gonna be an F.
バイオレット読んでみなさい
I bet she literally wrote what she was saying, like verbally.
はい背景父上様母上様久々の手紙ですが伝達以前からの件に感謝を伝えていないことを懸念しております
Previous engagements.
行った場所行きたかった場所に関して
So robotic.
当方は現在鋭意努力中
Even her tone is so monotone, like a robot.
来ておりません以上
Like a
くれぐれ
teleprompter.
も憂慮なきようルクリア
それで手紙になっているつもりですか
Oof. It's a report, it's not a letter.
もしかしたら私
Aw,
の話
she's
で
so
抽象
nice.
的すぎたのかも
そういう問題ではありません手紙とはそもそも人の心を
She's explaining to Violet finally.
している言葉の中から伝えたい本当の心を救い上げるもの
True feelings underneath the words, beneath the surface of language.
なくて正確ですけれどあなたの代筆したものは手紙とは呼べません
True.
手紙とは呼べないもう一度
今日はここまでです
Wow, this teacher is strict but very real.
今日は調子が悪かっただけよ
Yeah, no, just not an off day.
と言われたことがありますそう
I knew it was a stage setting with that perfect grade earlier, with the previous day's evaluations.
この街で一番素敵な景色
Aww.
教えてあげる
Nice. I'm glad Violet didn't say no.
ここよ
I'm really happy for Violet because she's gifted with a lot of amazing people around her. That's amazing. Oh, music in this show is amazing. Whoa.
素敵でしょ
Beautiful and romantic.
子供の頃からずっとこの眺めが大好きなの
Lucudia is she's a local.
バイオレット
Another flashback.
いつか君にもライデンから見えるあの美しい景色を見てほしい
Wow, goosebumps. Wish came true. She's constantly and only thinking
じゃあ
about
私
Gilbert
こっちだから
because of ambiguous emotional loss and lack of closure.
ルクリアでいいわバイオレット
Very formal.
ああそう言うなっていいだろう
お兄ちゃんまた飲んでたの
Oh,
あ飲んでね
that's why she almost wrote the letter to her brother, but because he's a drunk, she changed his mind. She changed her mind to the parents.
こいつが飲ませねえから飲んでね
大丈夫
Oh, yeah, I'm a recovering alcoholic. As I said, I've been sober for 4 years after the military. And anger is something that a lot of veterans and a lot of addicts struggle with. And anger is also the reason why I quit drinking for good 4 years ago.
私の代筆したものは手紙とは呼べないと指摘されました私は良きドールになれるのでしょうか
I respect Violet's brutal honesty, but she doesn't lie. She probably doesn't even know what lying means.
すぐご飯作るから
Oh, her whole... Who is that? Is that her dad? Or brother? Is her whole family alcoholics?
お父さんお母さん
Or did mom and dad pass away and that was the brother?
ブルー
Man.
ベルいうのはイベリス
Oh,
こ
that's
の上
awesome. It does look like the Hunger Games pin.
ャモールバラ。
She's distracted because of her family trauma.
皆さんが良きドールになり
Violet
ますよ
didn't graduate?
私は地元の郵便局。私はライデンで探そうかな。
What did I say? Astronomical failure towards the end?
私はまだ何も決まってなくて。
She's such a nice girl. She's still looking out for Violet. She could relate. We call that term trauma bonds or trauma sisters or trauma brothers. Is people who bond through similar trauma and they just know. You don't have to open up about your trauma or the details of your upbringing and your stories, but they have this vibe. It's almost literally bonding through trauma. They can relate with each other on an energetic and emotional level because of different traumas they've gone through. And we see that beautifully here between Lucella and Violet. Of course, Violet doesn't know anything because she doesn't even know her own emotions. But Lucella, because of her quick glimpse of family trauma, alcoholism, and addictions that plagues her life, I think she relates and empathizes deeply and therefore connects deeply with Violet. Beautiful.
申し訳ございません。
大丈夫。卒業できなくてもドールになれないわけじゃないし。
It wasn't necessary, but it's to help.
ですが、それでは何のために学校へ通ったのでしょうか。
Wow.
確かに、卒業が全てではありませんが、
Because to her, she failed the mission.
だから伝えたい心を救い上げられ。
That's her brother, Lucilla, so her parents must have died.
やっぱりここに来ると思った。学校は終了したのになぜここにいるのですか。
Aww. Oh, trauma bond sisters, sisterhood. That's amazing.
少佐って誰？
Oh, she's so astute. Oh, dude, she's gonna be an amazing auto memory doll. She deciphered just from that report that Violet wrote. She knew.
その人に手紙を書いてみない？
Oh, this is so heartwarming.
あなたの素直な気持ちを込めた手紙を。
That's gonna be hard for Violet though, since she doesn't know what true feelings are.
少佐。
That little mouth opening means she does feel it deep inside?
すみません。
Nothing.
私はあの方に何を伝えたいのか自分でもわからないのです。
This is the power of conditioning, guys. We have to decondition and unlearn unhealthy behaviors and tendencies.
理解していないのですから。バイオレットはどうして
here
ドール
comes
に
the
な
story.
りたいと思ったの？
Again, leading with curiosity. No assumptions. Treating Violet with the respect and dignity.
私は愛してるを知りたいのです。 愛して
So
る
heartbreaking.
知りたい。心を伝えるって難しいね。
Oh, she relates.
私の両親死んじゃったの。
Oh, this music too. Oh,
お兄ちゃんだけ。私、お兄ちゃんに何を言えばいいか。
because they're both broken. They're both hurting.
戦争が始まって、お兄ちゃんは兵士として戦いに出て、
Oh, he came back from the war.
私たちはずっと人事のように戦争を感じていたの。
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
お父さんとお母さんが貿易の仕事でヘルネに行った時、お父さんもお母さんも遺品すら見つからなかった。
They were killed and MIA, missing in action.
お兄ちゃんは無事に帰ってきた。くれたことを喜びたかった。ヘルネを守れなかったことを悔やんで、お父さんとお母さんが死んだのは自分のせいだと思い込んで。
Shame and guilt. Hurts people, hurts people.
本当はただ生きててくれるだけで嬉しいの。ありがとうって伝えたいだけなのに。ずっと言えない。
Wow, that was a emotional heavy scene. I just want to share a few thoughts because first of all, this solidifies my hypothesis and my speculation that Lucella, she bonds with Violet because she shares a similar struggle of difficulty expressing her emotion to her brother, that thank you for being alive. Thank you for coming home. Another similarities is their collective and shared ambiguous emotional loss. Violet, remember, to this date, we don't know how many days or months or weeks have gone by since Violet was discharged from the hospital from episode 1, but she doesn't know that Gilbert is alive or dead. We know through last episode's final confirmation that Gilbert did die, that he will never return again. But Violet doesn't know that because of Hudgens' white lie in episode 1 that I felt very strongly about. So Violet has her ambiguous emotional loss. Is Gilbert alive or dead? Lack of closure. She has no idea where he is, what he's doing, and why he's not reaching back out and reconnecting back to Violet and accepting her back. Because remember, her sole identity is Gilbert's dog, a tool, a killing machine. But now she feels useless because without her arms, without her purpose, and now she's adjusting slowly to her new purpose of an auto memory dull training through Hudgens' grace and love and empathy. Similarly here, Lucilla, she also has this ambiguous emotional loss. She believes and probably confirms that her parents are dead, but they never found her. No traces of them, no bodies, and therefore no concrete tangible closure. And the only one that came back alive from the war is her brother, who became an alcoholic. And I work with severe addictions. That's why I'm really passionate about alcoholism, because of my own alcoholism of the past that I quit 4 years ago. Her brother doesn't want to become an alcoholic for the sake of. And I want to make this PSA. No addicts voluntarily chooses to be addicts. And science is clear. Neuroscience already established scientifically that addiction is a brain disease. Period. That is a fact. Long-term usage of any substances permeates and changes the patterns of your brain, your default brain network setting. And so therefore, long-term usage of substance becomes addiction that's chronic by nature. And chronic uses literally and neurologically changes your brain patterns. That's why it's a brain disease. That's why addiction is not a willpower issue. It's not a moral issue. Oh, you're an addict? You must be weak-minded. You must not care about your life. No. If addiction is a willpower issue, then how come so many special forces, elite military members with the highest work ethics, highest willpower, they can go a week without food. They can stay awake for 4 days for a mission. They could not lose sleep over killing or getting killed. You're telling me that so many former special forces, elite military members are struggling with addiction because they are weak and will-powered? You're telling me that so many national athletes, Olympians, world-class athletes who are the best at what they do are struggling with addictions. So many artists and famous musicians and celebrities struggle because they're weak-minded? We know that's not true because they're extremely strong will-powered, extremely strong-minded. That's why they're the best at what they do, period. So addiction is not a willpower or moral issues. It's not because they don't care. It's because they care so deeply, but they feel so helpless. They feel guilty, ashamed. They feel pathetic at their inadequacies. Like in this case, Lucilla's brother feels inadequate, and he feels like he failed his mission as a soldier after he was drafted because he couldn't even save the people in his life, aka his parents. He couldn't even save the people that's the closest to him, his parents. So when he came back, he felt like a failure, worthless as a soldier, worthless as a son. So what does he do? Where does he go to escape from his painful reality of self-judgment, self-pain, bottomless pit of shame? Alcohol. Because when you're drunk, you're momentarily fleeting from your reality of pain and hardship. When you're drunk, you're numbing your feelings of grief, sadness, and inadequacies. When you're drunk, it drowns out your self-criticism, your sense of low self-worth. But when you do that over and over and over again, your anxiety goes up, your depression goes up, your future health indexes drops by 16-fold. Chronic addictions, according to neuroscience and clinical literature, increases your future health problems by 16-fold. Not 16%, that's 160%. This is real. We can run away from our pain. We can run away from our internal reality of struggle momentarily. And I want to make this loud and clear as a psychotherapist, as someone who went through similar struggles as myself. Escapism is not always bad. There is no such thing as always, never. We call that black and white or all or nothing thinking. Life is in the gray. Nothing is black and white. There's always gray. So sometimes temporary relief is okay. Your mother passed away. Your wife died out of a car accident. You want to numb your feelings and escape for a little bit? That's okay. Who are we to judge? Who are we to assume and presume the unspeakable pain of other people? That's extremely judgmental and inhumane. If we judge other people, then other people will judge us. If we judge other people, we will then judge ourselves. That's how we become ashamed and guilty. But like I said, temporary relief is sometimes okay if you're not harming other people and not harming yourself to an irreversible degree. But prolonged and chronic escapism is very harmful and unhealthy. We are only drifting further and further away from our inner selves, who we once were. We are drifting further away from our goals, dreams, aspirations, and the best versions of ourselves that we could become. And that's the reason why I quit drinking 4 years ago through my own therapy support, because alcohol in my life was ruining relationships. I was always a high-functioning alcoholic, but it was not serving me anymore. So I want to encourage all of us to refrain from good and bad. That's a horrible and poor framework. It's a horrible dichotomy. Instead, reframe that as, is it serving us or is it no longer serving us? Us and our goals. So right here, that's what the brother is doing. And that's why he became an alcoholic. Because he'd rather avoid and run away from his reality because it's simply too painful. And I'm sure that has something to do with Lucella and why she wants to be an auto memory doll. So perhaps she wants to write that letter to her brother. Just like in the beginning, she said, oh, I want to write the letter to my brother. Oh, never mind, to my parents, even though her parents have passed away. So Lucella also has a mission, and so does Violet. And that's why they're bonding. This is a beautiful, beautiful scene. Luculia. Sorry for mispronouncing.
あなたの伝えたい気持ちを手紙にしましょう。
They're reciprocating.
でもお兄ちゃんに伝えようって考えるとダメなの。
Just like Violet and Major Gilbert's, they're the same in so many ways. Guys, we don't walk this path of life alone.
ありがとう、バイオレット。
We are not alone.
先生の手紙はまた今度ね。
It's too much for her. It's too close to her heart.
良きドールと言葉の中から伝えたい本当の心を救い上げるもの。
She's finally learning about the arts of letter. Writing letter is not a science. It's not mechanical. It's an art. Why? Because emotions is an art. Oh, Spencer, the brother, got really beat up. And he's the older brother too. Spencer, the brother, probably feels inadequate as not only as a son, but also as a brother. It's always a straw hat. It's heartbreaking. No one wants to become an addict. It's a coping mechanism that has gone awry. But there is hope. Change is possible. Luculia.
任務いえ課題です。いえ手紙です。
Violet is changing. She's getting better. She wrote the letter on behalf of Luculia. So touching.
お兄ちゃん生きてきてくれて嬉しいの
Oh, that's amazing. Violet, you did it. Oh, it's amazing. Beautiful.
おかえりなさい。
Oh, this is a heavy
ずいぶん
episode.
遅かった
Man.
けどどこ
組合の寄り合いだってよ。
Guild
つ
meeting.
うかお前、学校も終わっちまったんじゃなかったっけ？
ですが、今日は手紙を書いてきました。
A letter, not a report.
伝わったかどうかは
It did.
わかりませんが、
We know it resonated because Spencer started crying. That's emotional resonance. Feeling resonated by emotions.
そうなのよこのバカ。私が
Oh,
何
they're
として
definitely
手紙
dating,
を読
dude.
む
Something's going on. Something is going on.
だから何よその言い方。どうしたのですか？
おはようバイオレット。
She passed?
学校は終わった
Because she wrote that letter.
ごめんね。私が勝手にお願いしたの。
この手紙をルクリアに見せてもらい、
Yes!
が書いた
Violet
ル
did
クリア
it!
からお兄さんへの手紙を。
Optimal dual status unlocked, baby.
お兄ちゃんへの思い。バイオレット、あなたが届けてくれたのよ。
良きドールとは人が話
She got the Hunger Games pin. Let's go. Oh, I need some excitement after that emotional and heavy
そ
scene.
の
Oh,
一歩を
man.
踏み
Thank you, the show.
バイオレット、
Violetto.
あなた
Oh,
が
the instructor
良きドー
smiles.
ルになりますように。
Aww.
それから
Thank you.
本当にありがとう。
Honto arigato. Oh, my heart.
時に手紙はたくさんの美しい言葉を並べるより
Violet is finally learning that communication is beyond words. It's much more. It's more than just duties, pun intended.
お人形のような服装でちょっと軍人さんみたいでちょっと変わった。
Oh, it's because you're also wonderful, Lucella. Alright, let's check out the ending of this anime. So that's Violet, very black and white, colorless, her struggle, right? We're seeing the sky. She's walking by herself, which means she's alone and lonely. Again, very colorless. You see seasons. Autumns, the leaves are falling. Just like her journey of life, going through seasons. Autumns, raining seasons, probably spring. But she's still alone. More colors. Different seasons again. See, colors. Now she's in full colors. Her evolution process, her personal and emotional development. She hugged something in. That's emotional connection. Is that the letter she's going to finally write to Major Gilbert as her grieving process? Oh, that's a beautiful emerald. See, full of colors now, no longer black and white and monotones. Oh, I think that rose at the end and that stamp, it means Violet is finally eventually able to express her emotions, and that stamp of approval, because you have to stamp the mail or the letter, is she was finally able to write a letter, not a report, which is foreshadowing hopefully of her growth and her development as an auto memory though, yes, but more importantly, a real human. No longer like that doll of that bear that was bleeding in episode 1, no longer as a dog, no longer as a machine, no longer as a tool, but a fully animated, multi-dimensional, multifaceted, complex, but lively human being. Wow, this was an amazing episode again. Anyway, so if you found my analysis and reaction helpful, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe. You don't want to miss the next episode. I'm only getting more detailed and more symbolic. And comment what you thought about my predictions and analysis below. And I'll rotate the release of Violet Evergarden and Frieren Beyond Journey's End, 2 episodes every week. Also, if you want, you can also email me at discovermorepodcast@gmail.com to see how I could support you in your personal growth journey. Till next time, peace, friends.